guys, happy Monday. Becky Timms here for The Drive at 5. Wow, I was sick over the weekend, so I did not do a Drive at 5 on Friday, so I missed it. But I wanted to jump on here because whenever you're private labeling or drop shipping, sometimes you cannot list items on Amazon unless you have a certification of compliance. And I know this is something that Amazon is really cracking down on, and especially in the children's category, because of course you never want to harm anyone, especially a child, but you always want to, or they want to test for, hey Rhonda, thanks for joining the Drive at 5. They want to make sure that the products that you list on Amazon are going to be safe for the consumer and for their workers. So sometimes they will say you can sell this product on Amazon, but you cannot send it in to our warehouse. And I actually sell one of those products here out of my house. It sells multiple times a day, and literally I just walk to the post office, or actually my husband does sometimes, and just puts the flag up and the mailman takes it. Now, would it be safe for Amazon to store it? Probably not, but it's not hazardous as in what you would think of as a hazardous material. I mean, we don't have to have an SDS or a safety data sheet. And what that is, it tells you everything that you need to know about chemicals. If it's an acid or if it's a base, if it catches on fire, what its melting point is. If you're in an emergency situation, how do you handle it? And all of that. It used to be called a MSDS, which is the Material Safety Data Sheet, but now it's just called SDS for Safety Data Sheet. And sometimes Amazon will ask you to send in an SDS, and they will let you know if that item is available. Now, the one product that I do sell, there is a seller that actually is selling that same item, but their item is actually at the Amazon warehouse. So you know me, I'm like, well, how can they do it and I can't do it? And they were like, well, it was an oversight on our part. We let them send it in. They will, whenever they sell out, they will no longer be able to ship this item for FBA, which is good because I was actually pretty evil. It was my listing, so I took out the keywords and created a new listing with a bundle, and their sales declined anyway. But that's another story because I wasn't being nice that day. And you can do the same thing. And if they don't know how to go in and optimize the listing, then you will make killer sales on your products. So but that's one thing. So Amazon does require some SDSs for some items, but especially in the children's category, from the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, they are requiring some baby items, depending on the category, to get a children's product certificate. There are only certain laboratories that are allowed to analyze for these items, and one would be like lead. Phthalates are like they're in plasticizers that are added to a lot of plastics to make it more flexible and increase the longevity and things like that. But if you have phthalates and or lead in your products, then you actually have to have it tested, and if it's above a certain threshold, then you will not be allowed to sell that product on Amazon for the safety of the children. But it's not only in children's items. Me personally, I don't sell anything that has a magnet in it because magnets are on this list as well. I personally don't sell anything electrical. Some people do. Some people private label it, and you know, that's fine. But I don't. Some people, so let's see, magnet lights, like LED lights and things like that. That's something else that I personally don't do. And there's a whole list of items. I can read you some of them. A lot of them, bicycle helmets. That's another one. Now, if it's a name brand and it's already selling on Amazon and you're piggybacking on that listing, you may not be required. However, if you're creating a brand new listing, you will be required to do this. So The flammability of some clothing textiles would also be on there. Some beauty products. If you're looking into private labeling beauty products, hi Pile, thanks for joining the Drive at 5. If you're looking to private label some beauty products, then you definitely need to make sure that all of the ingredients that are in those beauty products fit under the Consumer Product Safety Commission as well, especially around the eye area. Like some mascaras, they won't let you use some waxing products. Like I said, there's several pages, and so what I would recommend is that you definitely go on Amazon's page. And another thing I don't personally do, I don't list anything with batteries. I know some people that do, and so then I hear, well, how come XYZ seller can sell it and I can't? And my answer is they probably haven't gotten caught yet, but they will. I mean, Amazon will catch them. And once again, you want to run your business with ethics. And if I'm a risk taker, and I still won't do these things, but if you're not a risk taker, then just be super careful, because you don't want to have, $20,000 or $30,000 in inventory and then Amazon say, hey, I'm sorry, you can't sell that item. So, hey Carly, thanks for joining the Drive at 5. So just be super careful. Be very conservative if you do list items. Also, and then you may say, well, where can I get my items tested? And what I would recommend is just going to the Consumer Product Safety Commission website and see what labs they certify. And so I actually am a lab director, and we test for lead, but we are only certified to test for lead in drinking water. But since I work for a public utility, we are not allowed to analyze for and or compete things. So Carly says, I sold items with lithium batteries, pain in the compliance behind, LOL. Yes, Carly, and that's why I'm warning people, if you're, especially batteries that are being stored like in some of these toys, and you may even run into that at Christmas time, because a lot of items have batteries, but you just want to be sure that, one, Amazon protects their consumers because they don't want to be in a lawsuit. Two, that they protect their workers if these items are actually stored at FBA. So I just wanted to share that with you today. And, I've been reading Richard Brunson's book called Expert Secrets, and it is an amazing book. I highly recommend that you read it if you're oh look, I just sold something. That's pretty cool. But anyway, I highly recommend that you read it, because it is it's a good book. And one thing that I learned in this book, I'm going to practice. I'm going to take imperfect action. And so that's what I want you to do if you're just starting out in e-commerce. There is a ton of different ways that you can make money. Yes, it is an awesome book, Carly. There's a ton of different ways that you can make money, but you just need, someone texted me today and they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I could make money this way and that way and that way. And I said, well, how do you eat an elephant? Because, you don't know which way to go. Should I sell on eBay? Should I sell on Amazon? Should I private label? Should I do this? Should I do that? Can you put it in the comments when you're finished, please? Thanks in advance. Angela, what do you want me to put in the comments? Oh, the book. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Yes, I will. And so one thing that you want to do is pick one area to focus on, because if you go so many different ways, you can chase rabbits all day long, and then squirrels too. And that's what I did, and that's why I gained 50 pounds. So I don't want you to gain 50 pounds, but I want you to make a ton of money. So I want you to really focus on one thing, and then once you master that, move on to something else. And so the second thing, back to Richard Brunson's book, I was preparing a webinar. So I'm going to do my first live webinar. I have not set a date yet, but I did a PowerPoint of a brain dump. Guys, I had 175 slides of just knowledge that I want to share about private labeling. Hey Jackie, thanks for joining the Drive at 5. So I just wanted to share all this knowledge on private labeling. So like 175 slides. Now a lot of it is pictures, but I followed like step by step what Richard laid out in his book. And one thing that he said was to do live webinars. Now I can get on here with you on Facebook Live all day long, but getting on a webinar and hooking it up and using, you know, different software that I have to learn and getting frustrated. I understand. I get frustrated too. I was sick. I was laying in my bed. I actually have a sleep number. That was the first thing that I bought with my profits from my e-commerce business, was a sleep number bed. And if you're not familiar with that, you can like bring it up like this and take it down like that. So anyway, I was sitting in my bed this weekend because I was sick, and I was trying to learn how to do this webinar, and I got so frustrated. And it reminded me of when I first started my e-commerce business, and I swear I wanted to take a hammer and just like beat the screen of my computer, but I didn't. I know I posted somewhere, you know, I had a pity party for myself, and it was like only Ben and Jerry showed up, and I ate that too. So just take one thing at a time, focus on one thing, conquer that. If you get frustrated like I did, walk away. You know, go downstairs and do the dishes. That's what I did. So it's something that you can focus on, and I'd highly recommend that you do it. And just, I mean, it's similar to learning how to walk. Learning how to walk. I mean, you just didn't wake up one morning and start walking. You scooted, you stood up, you fell down, you crawled, and then you wobbled, and then you started walking. Or riding a bike. I mean, you just didn't jump on your bike and start riding. And that's the same with e-commerce. I can sit here and tell you how to do it all day long. Hold on, I'm sitting in the dark. I'm out in my car. I can sit here and tell you how to do this all day long, but until you do it and you start riding the bike and wobbling and having your knees getting skinned up, if you will, you're not going to learn how to actively do it. And so that's why I want to say you have to take imperfect action, because it's not going to be perfect the first time. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it is, but I want you to get started, because the sooner you get started, the bigger your dreams are, the closer you're going to get to accomplishing them. So I'm glad to be back on the Drive at 5 today, and back to my presentation. See, I'm glad y'all are following me, because I'm going everywhere. But when I was preparing those 175 slides, I just realized that I've been doing the Drive at 5 every day, except like a couple of days when I was sick or something, for 8 months. I can't believe that. So 8 months that I've been sharing Amazon, eBay, e-commerce, mindset training to everyone, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. And I really do appreciate, you know, everyone that sends me the messages, and they're like, you're inspiring, and I actually got an email today from someone in Mexico, and he said you said something one time that stuck with me, and he wrote out what I said. So if I just say one thing that you can take away in any of these Drive at 5s, I would recommend that you just keep it with you, because it will motivate you to go to the next level. So another thing I wanted to share, today was Toastmasters on my lunch break, and I was walking into Toastmasters. And you know how you walk by cars in a parking lot and you look down in there and then you just keep walking? Well, I walked by this one car and I looked in and I backed up, and I was like, I have to take a picture of this. This car actually had notes all in it. It had like something taped to the steering wheel, something taped to the front, something taped to the where the AC is, something up here, something on the left, something on the right. And I was like, oh my, I don't do that in my car. I do that at home. I read a lot of self-talk, a lot of positive things. But I mean, there was stuff taped everywhere. And I actually took a picture of it, and I was going to post it on Facebook. And I haven't had a chance yet, because I went into the Toastmasters meeting, and then I went back to work, and then I just took my son to his end of the season baseball party, and now I'm sitting out in the driveway talking to you guys. But I was so motivated by this car, because this person, hey Rachel, hey Lisa, thanks for joining the Drive at 5. Lisa, I love that stuff that you gave me. I actually used it today for the first time. So I'm super excited about that. I'll be calling you soon. But I loved that this driver actually had all of this positive self-talk. I didn't read the notes or anything, but I knew that's what it was as soon as I saw it. Well, I went to the Toastmasters meeting, finished the meeting, and I was coming out, and somebody was sitting in the car. And I just said, I was talking to the person in the car because it was a Toastmaster, and then I walked further along, and then I went back, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is your car. And it was actually a guy named Rodney. And Rodney, I actually invited Rodney to Toastmasters like 5 years ago. And Rodney is a salesperson. And he said, I spend most of the time in my car. He was like, you don't have that in your car? I was like, no, but I do have it like on my mirrors at home and post-it notes where I write around my house, but never in my car, because I always listen to positive self-talk. But anyway, I thought that was really cool that it was Rodney's car. I took a picture. I'm going to post it in the meeting minutes so that you can see his car as well. Hope you all have an amazing day. I'll see you tomorrow on The Drive at 5. If you're looking to just start learning how to make money with e-commerce, you can go to makemoneywithbecky.com. And if you are interested in jumping into private label, you can go to privatelabelcourse.com. See you all tomorrow on The Drive at 5. Bye.